And one of the front runners expects to be heard when the dust settles. He expects to emerge after the whole Trump excitement as the nominee. And a lot of polls bear that out in key states. I'm talking, of course, about Scott Walker, the governor of Wisconsin, who's using that record and his success, particularly in slapping down unions, as pivotal to doing so. Anthony Scaramucci, one of the richest guys on Wall Street, one of the most prolific thinkers certainly on Wall Street, and a fair and able-minded chap. Was a big backer of Mitt Romney, has chosen to throw his support behind Scott Walker. First off, it's always good seeing you, Anthony. I want to get your reaction to what John Sununu was telling me. You know, it would be nice to hear Donald Trump say no to a third-party candidacy, and tonight might be the night he should do it. What do you think?
Well, you know, listen, he's the elder statesman, and I think what he's saying is that the teams win with the pronoun usage of we and our, and what we've heard from Mr. Trump is a lot of me, mine, and I. That never wins. We're here in Cleveland Cavaliers Stadium. They know that for sure, Neil, so I'm hoping that that will happen, but it doesn't really even need to happen, because one of the best things about Donald Trump tonight is he'll probably bring the ratings for us here at Fox News, and he'll give me the opportunity for guys like Scott Walker to give his message out there, which is a message of reform. It's a positive record, and you'll hear Governor Walker talk about things he's for, not the people that he's against. So yeah. I don't think that's going to work long term, Neil. We know back in 2007, I was with Mayor Giuliani on Maria Bartiromo's show on Fox Business last week. At this point, he was up 33%.
Very good point.
He had a 15-point lead. He had a 15-point lead on the others. And it didn't work out for the mayor the way he wanted it to. But here is Governor Walker. He's won 3 elections in a very blue state over the last 4 years. And I also think he's the most prepared to debate. I don't think anybody else has had the 4 years of debate training that Governor Walker has had.
No, you might be right about that. And I know you know, obviously when you put your money on a guy, I mean, you think about it much like you do a stock investment, but the rap you hear against him, he's not a sexy internet stock. That used to be the case, I guess, with internet stocks. But he's not flashy. He's not exciting. He's not dramatic. He's not Trump. Now, that might be good. He also doesn't like to go tit for tat. In other words, when I had him on last, I wanted him to respond to some of these really pretty mean comments Donald Trump had of his record in Wisconsin, and whether it was all that the governor was making it out to be. He declined. Do you think he can keep doing that, especially if Trump gains traction?
Okay, so I actually think he can do that, because what we have found with that strategy, it's super appealing to the independents. Remember, in the last election, he won the independents in his state by about 11.5%, Neil. And so that message works well with the independents. It probably doesn't work super well with us in cable news, because we like the smoke and fire. But I think Governor Walker is what I would call the anti-Obama candidate. That's what David Axelrod said in his most recent book. Usually the electorate is looking for somebody that is very, very different from the prior president that they're succeeding.
Yeah, but it is still early. It is still early. But to your point, Anthony, I mean, he does poll well, especially up against, in key states, up against Hillary Clinton, and is in that top-tier candidates for whom Republicans are holding very high regard. I think they're lumped in with the likes of Marco Rubio, what have you. So he has the positives. He has some of that going for him. But you also hear from debate types who say, look, don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything risky. So when you talk to him, what do you tell him?
Well, listen, I sort of know my role, and again, it's a team. So my role, Neil, is sort of help him raise money. He did do debate prep in our offices last week. I left him alone. We actually even taped up the windows. I don't want to be one of those guys that pretends. Yeah, I want to be
one of those guys. Why did you tape up the windows? What was going on?
Well, because I wanted to leave him alone, let him work rigorously with his team. And my role in the campaign is to dial 9, get an outside line, and convince my contemporaries and my peer group that this is the right candidate for us. He's a reform-minded candidate. He's a guy that actually will do the things that he says he's going to do, and he'll do them in a way that will bring people together. I think we need to end this decade-plus era of divisiveness. And so I'm not really giving him political advice. I don't think it's the best role for me. But if I were giving him advice tonight, my advice to the governor would be, Be yourself. That has made you a great winner of independents and Democratic voters 3 times in the last 4 years in a very blue state. And I think the rest of the country's ready. Rest of the country's ready to hear from Governor Walker.
All right, we shall see tonight, my friend. Thank you very much.